Welcome back to 2C TV, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Maya 2C, and this is your latest news update, this time coming from Michigan, or the Islamic State of Michigan. A clash between the anti-Islamic activists, the Christian Crusaders, and of course the Muslim population in Dearborn has been escalating in recent days. Tensions this week have been quite high, and we're going to explain what's been going on over the last couple of days. And obviously the authorities have now increased security on the main streets just to patrol around, just to ensure that everybody is playing by the rules. There's a lot to talk about. We have to give a big shout out to independent new media journalists, including citizen journalist Nick Shirley, who was brave enough to go out there on the streets to actually report this. So we have a number of videos to show you guys from the clashes. But this is all about our new media revolution, of course. And if you want to help us, support us to fight against the mainstream establishment, the globalist elite, the threat of Islam, and of course the woke weirdos, then you have to support 2C TV. You have no choice. And the best way to do it is to support to join the 2C ecosystem and join 2C TV Plus. Of course, it's, I think it is Black Friday, isn't it? Black Friday, which means we have launched our new £1 7-day trial for 2C TV Plus. If you go on the website 2c.tv, you will get access to it, and of course download the 2C TV app to get full access to the channel. Now, let's go to Dearborn in Michigan. So, Nick Shirley was there. Things heated up. There was an attempt to burn the Quran by Jake Lang, who was a January 6th political prisoner who's now been released, and he has a crusade against the threat of Islam. He tried to burn the Quran, but of course he was stopped by a number of the Islamic men who were offended. Things escalated from here. Let's go to that moment.
Burn it, man. You can't burn it. You can't burn it.
This, after this, he brought out his bacon. He literally brought out bacon. Crazy.
We got another Quran. I'll go get a different one.
I saw he was about to burn the Quran, and then you went and grabbed it. How offensive is that as you as a Muslim man?
Okay, as Muslim man, we don't like no one burn any our book. First of all, second,
I would be pissed if someone burned the Bible.
Now, as I said, Nick Shirley was quite brave enough to be right in the middle of the belly of the beast, as we call it. Obviously, these sort of things will be happening a lot more, and you're going to have to need people. There have been a number of, for example, younger, culturally Islamic men in Dearborn who came out and said, well, yes, it's offensive, but we're not associated with the ones who are promoting Sharia, because we want to live in a free America. So it's up to these guys to go and fight. And what we've seen, obviously, a couple of days ago in Dearborn, and just this week in general, is that one main issue is the authorities, who their job actually, compared to the UK, they're doing a better job. In the UK, every single one of those anti-Islamic activists would have been immediately arrested. There has to be a conversation across the whole Western world to be able to have free speech, but also debate and discourse. Anyway, after this, Jake decided to bring out the bacon, and that's when clashes erupted.
And now he's grabbed bacon with the Quran. He's smacking the Quran with bacon.
You can't touch him.
Yeah, this got ugly very quickly. All because of a book. All because of a book. It's been a crazy few days.
Running on the streets. The whole entire street's been taken over. Entire street intersection. You got green lights right there. Nobody's able to go through. Cops have just appeared on scene. Now you have cops coming.
Now, after what happened here, obviously a number of people have been arrested a couple of days ago on this. And there were also a number of people who were MAGA supporters and Trump supporters who, that guy in the blue, for example, came and said, we need unity, stop fighting. But the problem with this is that the liberal media are not going to go around and actually show you the truth and show you the ones who are still more conservative leaning, who are actually calling for unity instead of clashes and conflicts. But that aside, there were a number of Islamic men who were also driving around, because of course it's a very Muslim area, and they stopped to join the fight. One of them was extremely angry and thought that Nick Shirley and others around him were also part of the main protest. It got a little bit weird.
What? These people are just pulling over.
What did he do?
Why would I get you? Why? I haven't done anything. They got word out that they tried to burn the Quran.
What did Nick do? Was in the middle of all this? Come on, man. But that's the thing. So when people get angry, they don't really care. They just be like, well, anybody standing here, you're the enemy, even if you're just filming it. But this, it's just a little bit weird. I mean, there are a number of people, by the way. The Irish Rose says in the live chat, I am not that far from there. For those of you, if you're from Dearborn or Michigan in general, let me know in the comment section, in the live chat, if you're watching this live, what your thoughts are in terms of your cities and what's going on in that state, especially, of course, with religious segregation and sectarianism. Anyway, that aside, we then had one of the guys in this video, not the ones you can see right now, but if I scroll to this section, the one who's standing with angry shouting, the one in the middle, that one then got a little bit angrier and slightly crossed the line by threatening to kill the anti-Islamic activists because he insulted his so-called holy book.
People out here are just driving around and they're hearing what's happening as they attempted to burn the Quran, and people are freaking out.
Wait. It's after this scene.
People are just pulling over.
Now, this is where...
Why would I get you? Why? I haven't done anything.
Ugly.
Word out that they tried to burn the Quran. And you're getting heated. You're just pulling over. You're hopping out of the car. You're ready to brawl with anybody.
I had my gun. I was gonna blast if I didn't see the cops. I swear to God. That's it. I don't care. To me, I don't care. My life, I don't give a let somebody blast me. I don't give a
just because of the burning of the Quran, the attempted burning.
I'll that motherfucker's life up and his family. That's it. It's on camera. I will that motherfucker's life up. Let him come to me face on face. Face to face, I'll kill him. On my mother's soul. So that's it.
You're killing him.
I'll kill him.
This is it. This is insanity, by the way. Now, also, people in the live chat who don't understand what's going on, which is kind of fascinating. They're confused people. This one, Mr. Blix with multiple X's says, please stop calling it breaking news. I saw this yesterday. The fascinating thing, if you're watching this live, you can see the screen, right? You can see the screen underneath. What does it say? The title. Does it say breaking news? Oh, wait, no, it doesn't, of course, because it's not breaking news. And I didn't say it's breaking news. You absolute nutters. If it doesn't say breaking news, it's not breaking news. And guess what? We didn't say it's breaking news because this is from a couple of days ago, which is obviously giving you guys the latest and obviously my analysis on the whole situation of the tensions over the last few days in general. It's the whole week that's been completely mental in Dearborn with the tensions rising. Anyway, going back to some sanity. Some of these guys also, when Nick was interviewing them, said that they will not fight to defend the United States of America in a war. Well, let's go to that.
Now you have all these Islam men yelling Allah Akbar. I have a question for you guys. If America were to get in a war with a country like Iraq, who would you guys defend, America or Iraq?
We won't get in a war. That's not permissible for us. But at the same time,
who would you defend first?
We would support our brothers in Iraq. That's the only way.
So you wouldn't defend America?
We would not defend America.
But you're American.
But at the same time, listen. At the same time, America is our country because we were born here. But in our Islamic book, we're not allowed to fight with people that are against our religion. So we just take up the jail time.
So you would
That's
not,
what we do.
So you would not defend America?
I would go to jail instead of fighting for America.
And who would you defend if we were to go to war against a country like Iraq again, America or Iraq?
America.
And should that be a troublesome conflict of interest for somebody to be here in America that would rather support another nation like Iraq?
Anybody who supports another nation needs to live in that nation. This is a Christian nation. A lot of the Constitution is based off of the Bible. And how far the country has fallen.
So at least there's some sensible people still on the ground. But the fascinating part about the essentially the mixture of different mentalities, even in essentially a highly populated Muslim area in Dearborn, is that when you watch it, by the way, go and check out Nick Shirley's whole video. It's about half an hour, his report. You can see that they are primarily younger Islamic men, but you see a difference. So in Europe, or in the UK specifically, it's difficult to see when there is a gathering. You kind of see everybody's behavior becomes the same, mob rule mentality, right? So we've been to Birmingham, we've been to London, where we show you like angry young Muslim men. If they're there, they're basically thinking the same. The others, if they think differently, they don't even turn up. But here in Dearborn, again, watch Nick's videos, his report, because it shows that there were still people there. So there were a few people who were literally promoting Sharia. There were a few people who were so angry, like that guy in the car, who wanted to kill people. And then there were a few others who were saying that, hey, we want peace. And the others were like, yes, we are Muslim, but we live in America. We want to keep America free. We don't want Sharia. And they were all in the same bubble. And the question is, when will these level of tensions actually reach that community itself? Because it's definitely going to happen. We've seen this situation in New Jersey, where, again, essentially Muslim-born men clash with the others because one side wants Sharia, the other says, "Oh, we just want to be in America," and it's different to the Europeans. A lot of them have now, especially the younger ones in New Jersey. You know, they may have obviously Arabic names, but they want to be American. They might be slightly different because they don't drink beer or they don't eat bacon. But then when you see the lack of integration from the other side, poisoning the overall community, and the so-called, and I hate the word moderate because they're just cultural, if they don't come out, if they don't speak out, then obviously there's going to be a categorization of saying, well, if your name is Arabic, then that means you're a troublemaker. People need to fight together. If those who say that, oh, okay, Bob, it's not my choice, I was born into a Muslim family, but we don't practice it, we don't believe in it, those guys need to come out and actually fight for the American flag. And there have been a few, of course. In America, definitely. In Europe, less so. But the tensions inside that community is also rising, and that is the main issue. But I did ask you guys, especially if you are from Dearborn or Michigan, let me know your thoughts. PC says my Michigan is woke. New York City is woke too. Michigan is not necessarily, I mean, there are woke people in Michigan, but Michigan's problem is mostly Islam rather than the woke liberals. There are a lot of liberals there as well, but the gays for Gaza, but the problem is mostly a very traditional, conservative, anti-woke Islamic men, angry men. Leslie Manning says, I can never access the forum despite paying my annual fee. Leslie, send us an email now, right now, so I can actually manually, because obviously we have the team checking it, but if you send it now, just do a basic email to team@2c.tv. It's on the website. Do it now. If you do it now, after the live stream, I will personally check and we'll sort it out for you. So you can have access to the chat forum on 2CTV Plus. Of course, the rest of you should also join our 2CTV Plus platform and get access to the chat forum because you're missing out. You're missing out on all the hate speech. Hate speech is happening. Freedom of speech. Scan the QR code or just go on 2c.tv. But it's Black Friday, so we've launched a new scheme. a new scheme, which is you can now join for £1 on a 7-day trial, a 1-week trial, if you want to just check out the system and see what you get on the platform, and of course download the 2C TV app, the home of geopolitical news. Now, going back to you lovely humans. I live in Ann Arbor, Michigan, about 20 miles away from Dearborn, and home to the University of Michigan. So far, no such activities have spread to the campus, but it does not surprise me at all. Well, yeah, I think to be fair, the universities and colleges in the US, the biggest problem when it comes to tensions or clashes is still primarily the woke left-wing liberals and Marxists. We haven't really seen much from the more pro-jihadi side, not much. It's mostly those who don't know if they're a man or a woman, so who claim to fight against fascism using fascist tactics. The mainstream news did not show what you are showing. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Well, again, the bigger shout out goes to Nick, who was actually on the ground. I am 30 minutes away from Dearborn. Everyone in the Metro Detroit area knows that Dearborn is completely overrun. Yes. The Dearborn mayor is the one who lit the fire from the call to prayer 5 times a day to tell Christians in the city to leave if they don't like it, and renaming a street after an Islamic terrorist. Slowly but surely the takeover will continue. The thing is, there has to be a line, because the United States is a land that belongs to people who believe in freedom, which also does mean freedom to practice or worship whatever you want to do, as long as you don't affect other people. So you can believe in anything. You can believe in, Scientology, you could do that. You could also believe in iPhone. You could worship Apple if you want to. Or Allah, for that matter. Anything that's fake or false. You should be able to be free. The issue is, the line is don't affect other people, because philosophically and culturally, the American Constitution was essentially a libertarian-leaning constitution based on conservative Christian values, which means that you can be free in America, but there is a line if you try to restrict other people's liberties or way of life, which means if you're going to go out there as a so-called elected mayor of Dearborn to try to impose your way of life on a Christian country, then that's a problem. So you have Jews, you have the Jewish community, they're doing their own thing. They're not trying to impose Judaism in the US, regardless of what Candace Owens is trying to tell you. And, for example, when it comes to kosher, they're not trying to force McDonald's or KFC or Pizza Hut to turn their food into kosher. They just cook their own kosher, their own themselves. The problem with the halal side from Islam is that they are basically changing. They're getting McDonald's and KFC and these guys to change. In the UK, we've already seen KFC in the UK is now halal. Subway, a lot of the branches of the Subway chain is halal in urban areas. So cities like London, Birmingham, Manchester, all these places, Leeds. It's the imposition of life to change other people's way of life. That's the problem. I don't care if you're going to believe in worshipping a tree. Do whatever you want to do. The problem is, one thing is about believing nonsense. You can believe in nonsense. The other is trying to impose your ideology onto other people. Now, if America wasn't a Christian country, then fine. You could say it's a blank canvas. One of us will win. One faith, one religion, or one ideology like Islam will win. But it's an established Christian nation. The whole culture is based on that. The values of the Constitution, the United States, comes from, well, relatively old school, the Cyrus the Great from Persia, the Persian Empire. Some of the ideas are from there. The rest is based on biblical values. It's based on biblical values. It's not written from the New Testament directly. It's not copy and paste. but the values are from there. If you try to force your culture on an existing culture, but that becomes a problem. That's the only issue. Have you heard about the supposed attacks in America where the invaders are ordering emergency uniforms to blend in with the civilians? Haven't seen that yet. Wouldn't be surprised. Karen says, come on, Trump, stop this S and uphold the land of the free. Well, at this point, over the next couple of years, I wouldn't be surprised if they send the National Guard to Michigan, because it's not going to be, at least in Dearborn, because it doesn't look too good when you also have the rise of crime, which, let's not forget, Dearborn's history was extremely peaceful and prosperous. And it's still a nice place, but it's overrun. That's the issue. It's changing very fast. Again, just like what happened in New Jersey. Exactly. Practice whatever you like. Leave others alone. Exactly. You lost. Christianity won. Get over it. You got kicked out of Spain. Stop trying to get back in. Metaphorically and literally. Islam is the complete opposite of anything in the Constitution. That's the thing. So if you also had ideas that were not necessarily from America, but they were at least compatible, and they would say not to impose on other people, but people would bring it and say, look at these things, we could do this way with more freedom. It could be compatible. But when you read the Constitution side by side with the Quran, whether you are Team Quran or not, you should admit that they are different. They are very different worldviews. It's not even just about policy, because of course the Quran is not really about the religion itself. It's a collection of rules and regulations. It's a political manifesto to how you should live your life. And the message is that this world is bad, is miserable, but you will be rewarded in the next life. So the primary focus in the Quran is that the next life is more important than this life. That's why you end up having people who actually don't respect this life. And they could do anything, because they believe that at least they will get the good things on the other side. That's the problem. Crazy stuff. The Antichrist, the one world. It's interesting how in the New Testament there was a warning about the Antichrist as well, which the first sign of an Antichrist would be obviously someone to claim to be a prophet. And the second thing was to reject the fact that Jesus Christ was basically God. So that's the first thing that the Quran says, that Jesus is not God. So literally there was a warning that don't trust this if anybody says this. All right. Did someone say Muhammad is the Arabic George Washington? He wishes. The values of George Washington and the 7th century warlord, slightly different. Just a little bit. Just tiny bit. One believed in freedom and self-determination. The other one obviously believed in extreme collectivism. But okay. Yeah, this is your test, not the next life. What's that? I don't know. Someone says, have you seen the clip with Muslims threatening to kill Tommy and bragging about all the weapons they've got that they need, finding, arrested and deported? There have been a number of these guys. Is this a new one again? Because we've had a lot of these guys over the last few years, but I'm guessing it's a new one again. But there was one that threatened Nigel Farage, the leader of Reform UK, but because Nigel Farage is an establishment figure, the authorities immediately acted. That there was an illegal immigrant coming from France, and he was immediately arrested because they were like, well, you can't threaten Nigel. Thank you, great, and thank you everybody else for supporting, and I hope they found this informative. Again, the tensions in Dearborn has been getting worse and worse, especially the last few days. I don't think this is the end of it, and I think unfortunately there will be more protests and counter-protests. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to join 2CTV Plus for only £1 on a 7-day trial by going directly on 2c.tv, or you can just scan the QR code if it's easier for you guys. I'm Maya 2C, and we are the media.